And we are back. Predictions. Preseason weeks 1/2. It's been a while. We're finally back, able to do it again this year. Been 7 or so months. But let's get right into it. I did pick the Bears to beat the Texans, which they did, albeit because of canceling the game due to weather. But a win is a win, which makes me 1-0 on the season. And just as a reminder that the preseason prediction records and the regular season records do not clash. The preseason is just for fun. It's preseason. You never know how it's going to go, while the regular season is actual knowledge. All right, but starting out, we have the Lions and the Giants. Thursday, August 8th, 7 p.m. This I'm fairly excited to see. We're going to see kind of I feel like Hendon Hooker, and I do still have a lot of confidence in him, even though he's not in the greatest situation to be a starter with, Jared Goff being around. But then you also look at, their second-year guys and the people they drafted this year. They should all get a lot of playing time, and I'm very excited to see what this Lions team does. Meanwhile, with the Giants, you have quite a few options. You have the Daniel Jones and Drew Lock potential quarterback battle. You have Malik Neighbors being, the rookie receiver that was drafted 6th overall or something like that. You have Brian Burns going to be making, if he plays, his Giants debut. This should be a very fun, game to kind of see a lot of new faces for both sides of the ball. And I do have the Lions winning. Panthers and Patriots, kind of the same thing. You have the Panthers, who look a lot different than they did last year. New head coach, a quarterback going into his second year, a different receiving room. Just kind of really changed everything. While the Patriots have kept a lot of their roster very similar, but obviously they have a new quarterback in Drake May. So I'm excited to see that too. However, I do have the Panthers winning. Moving now to the 9th, August 9th, 7 p.m., we have the Falcons and the Dolphins. Potentially Kirk Cousins' debut. Who knows if he starts, though. They might just rest him. But if not, we'll have Michael Penix. We get to see, hopefully, Bijan Robinson again, where he'll probably be the main running back. Other than that, the Falcons haven't really changed a whole lot, I feel like. Darnell Mooney, but I don't know how much of an impact he's going to make. And same with the Dolphins. I mean, we'll get this potentially see Odell, and Devon A-Chain for a second year. We'll get to see how Tua does now that he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the game. But ultimately, I do think that the Dolphins are the better team, and they're going to win this one. Next, we have the Texans and Steelers. C.J. Stroud in year 2. We know they're 0-1 as well. So they're going to be looking to probably just get a win in general. Obviously, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. But they had an explosive first quarter, and then after that, they kind of just fizzled out. And then the Steelers, you have probably the most interesting preseason. Is it going to be Russell Wilson? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Is it going to be Najee Harris, or is it going to be Jaylen Warren? And then we're obviously also going to see George Pickens as the lead receiver. But I do have the Steelers winning that one. 7:30 now, we have the Eagles and Ravens. This is a preseason game I'm not really looking forward to, because both teams did really well last year, kept a lot of players on the roster, and I feel like the only thing we're going to see is how the Ravens are going to kind of do with a lot of their guys going into their second year. We have Zay Flowers. Isaiah likely isn't going into his second year, but he had a big, breakout last year. I'm excited to see how we build off of it this year. And then that's really it. I do have the Ravens winning it, though. Next, we have the Commanders and the Jets, August 10th at 12 p.m. This is a completely different story. We're gonna have a battle potentially between Jaden Daniels and I forget who the other quarterback is that they have. Jets, we're gonna potentially see Aaron Rodgers. Who knows if he plays though? The Jets are really just gonna kind of see their team again. I feel like they've only improved. Commanders, they're a young team who's as well really only improved, keeping the good players and just kind of getting younger. I do have the Commanders, however, winning this game. At 1 p.m., we have the Bears, who are 1-0, and then the Bills. The Bears, we're just going to kind of see them build off of last game, potentially see Caleb Williams out there, which should be fun if he is, Roma Dunze. A lot of the guys that they had, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, who knows what we're going to see. Plus, they had Colin Johnson, whoever I believe his name is, played phenomenal. He looks like he could be a very nice receiver for in that offense, in case, one of the guys go down. And then the Bills, nothing really to say about the Bills, besides potentially seeing an offense without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. I do have the Bears winning it, though. 4 p.m., we have the Raiders and the Vikings. The Raiders, we're going to have the battle between Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Vikings, we're going to have the battle between Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. Although I do feel like both teams are, this is arguably the best preseason game. Two teams who I feel like really built character for themselves based off of last year. With the Raiders, with all the drama they went through, new quarterback, head coach, they managed to do pretty well. And then the Vikings, their quarterback went down early in the season, and they still stuck around in the playoff race until the bitter end. Although I do have the Raiders winning, these should be two very fun teams to watch during this preseason. 4:25, we have the Packers and the Browns. Packers should be interesting if we see Jordan Love. If not, we're just going to kind of see how that offense goes with another year. They're the youngest team in the NFL. We're just kind of seeing how well they build, week after week, year after year. While the Browns, I'm interested to see because I'm going to assume Deshaun Watson's going to play. I want to see how well he's going to do. And other than that, not really a lot. I don't know if Nick Chubb's going to be back quite yet, but if he's back, I want to see how he does, post-injury. Obviously, I'm going to watch this game as the Packers are my favorite team, but other than that, I'm not really excited besides the fact that it's the Packers and that football's back for my favorite team. And so much so to where I have the Browns winning. 7 p.m., we have the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Now, I'm going to make a bold claim that Patrick Mahomes is going to play in this game. I feel confident. He pretty much played I believe, every preseason game last year. I feel like he's going to do the same this one. I'm excited to see it. They just came off back-to-back Super Bowl runs. Want to see how well they do back. Other than that, they didn't really do a whole lot. I'm excited to see Xavier Worthy in that Chiefs offense. And then Hollywood Brown as well. They're going to have a speedy, duo right there. But I'm more focused on the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is very questionable with his payday. A lot of people saying, shouldn't have been earned. I'm one of those people who agree. I think he should have got paid, but not as much as he did. And then they obviously have a new kind of offense. Gabe Davis getting signed to a 4-year deal. Brian Thomas getting drafted in the first round. I'm really excited to see kind of how this receiving room shapes up. I feel like it should be a very good one. And obviously in the AFC South, which in my opinion, all 4 teams are looking really good with all having young quarterbacks. I'm excited to see how well they do because they're going to probably have to fight tooth and nail in order to stay with the Texans and Colts and maybe Titans. And I do have them winning this game. Like I said, I think Mahomes will play probably the first quarter or first 2 drives or something. However, I think the rest of the game is going to be in the Jaguars' favor. Buccaneers Bengals now. Buccaneers, I'm not really excited for in terms of what they have to offer. They pretty much did amazing last year, and they kept really everyone. Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield. The only thing is we're just going to see them back in a second year, which is very hype because, of how well they were projected to do last year compared to how they actually did. But I feel like they're really going to hover around the same range they did last year. I don't think they're going to do better. I think they're going to do right around the same. The Bengals, on the other hand, they should really only do better. 9-8 was a great record when you look at, they didn't have Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow should be back. Don't know if he's going to play. If he does, obviously that's going to be big. But other than that, I'm really excited to see kind of how that offense does because you have a new running back in Zach Moss, Joe Mixon, gone to the Texans. Tyler Boyd's no longer there. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are seeking contracts, although one of them sounds like they don't even want to play there anymore. And then you have a new tight end in Mike Gesicki. Their offense should be must-watch. Their defense, I don't really care about. Next, we have 49ers and Titans. This is going to be very interesting if Brandon Ayuk plays for the 49ers or if he doesn't, because that's going to change their offense a lot. Obviously the 49ers have done very well keeping their roster together. However, for Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams, as I believe, are both holding out for contracts. And I'm excited to see what kind of happens with those two being absent. And then the Titans, they're the biggest name in football, in my opinion, for this, preseason, with a quarterback going into year 2 with the first year under his belt, which was very impressive, considering what he had to work with last year. Having probably one of the biggest receiving core names. Obviously, they're all old. They're probably past their prime. They're all probably in the twilight of their career. But, either way, having Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tyler Boyd as a trio is like a crazy trio to have. And then the big thing is going to be seeing Tony Pollard and Ty J. Spears kind of doing their thing. Obviously, I forgot to mention Derrick Henry with the Ravens. I don't think he's going to play that game, which is why I didn't mention him. So that's why. But I am excited to see this Titans team because they really just improved with new people, not just like last year. The same guys they had took like that next step. They have a whole new offense besides really the quarterback, and there's going to be a competition for the running back and receiving room. 7:05, we only move 5 minutes past. We have Seahawks Chargers. Geno Smith is one of my favorite players right now due to his story from a few years ago. I'm excited to see kind of how well he does, with what could be his final year as a starter in Seattle. I don't know what the move is, past this point. I personally think he's great leading them to 9-8 seasons, but apparently I'm one of the few people who think that. But the Seahawks didn't really change anything. Kenneth Walker still the running back, still got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, and Will Dissly, I believe. Nothing really changed with them. Besides their safety core, which I'm excited to see how that secondary does, but other than that, they really stay the same. Chargers, on the other hand, we're going to see Herbert coming back from an injury. They're Keenan Allen and Mike Williams no longer there. So I'm curious to see, and obviously new head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Same with the Panthers Seahawks with Mike McDonald. Curious to see how those coaches do. And I do have the Seahawks winning. I feel like I forgot to mention I have Buccaneers winning. I have Titans winning. I feel like I forgot to say that. Saints Cardinals at 8 p.m. I don't know how to feel about this game. This is two teams I think will do pretty bad in the season, but I suppose it's worth a shot. Obviously, both teams didn't do the greatest last year anyway. I feel like Dennis Allen is going to be on the hot seat. I feel like Derek Carr is going to be on the hot seat. I feel like Alvin Kamara, or Kamara, however you say it, I usually say Kamara, I don't think he'll be on the hot seat, but I think he will be looking after this year probably, depending on how they do, to leave New Orleans. Curious to see how Michael Thomas does, although I don't think he is going to play that game. I don't know, I just feel like he never plays anymore. And then the Cardinals, Kyler Murray coming back for like his full year should be fun. Marvin Harrison Jr., the first receiver off the board. A lot of people's offensive player of the year. It should be fun. I do have the Cardinals winning this game though, and it's going to, in my opinion, come down to coaching. I do think Jonathan Gannon is a significantly better coach than Dennis Allen. Moving on to Sunday at 1 p.m., we have the Broncos and the Colts. The Broncos should be fun because you're going to have Bo Nix and whoever else they have, Zach Wilson. Can't quite Jarrett Stidham. That's who it was. Kind of a freeway quarterback battle, although I do believe Bo Nix will win it. And then other than that, we're going to see Cortland Sutton. I do feel like he had a great season last year. Could be looking at, to keep it going this year. And then Marvin Mims as well, going into his second year, had a very, in my opinion, under the radar rookie season where Puka Nacua and Zay Flowers and all that, Jaden Reed, kind of all overshadowed him. And I feel like Tank Dell as well, I forgot about him. I feel like they're all going to overshadow him. I feel like this year he's going to be one of the better receivers in the league, and that's going to show. And then the Colts, Anthony Richardson coming back, Michael Pittman after his extension. Jonathan Taylor should be coming back. I don't remember her name, but I'm pretty sure the Colts drafted a receiver. Josh Downs as well coming back. I feel like this should be a very fun offense to kind of watch. I do have the Broncos winning it, however. And finally, Cowboys-Rams, 4 p.m. This is going to be one of the more boring games. Cowboys, the only thing we're going to really see is, the same offense they had last year, except replace Tony Pollard with Ezekiel Elliott. And even then, I don't think the running game is going to really matter much because the Cowboys, I feel like, are going to take a pass-first approach anyway. And then the Rams, well, we're going to not really see a lot besides a lot of just their guys coming back from injury. Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams were both injured for some parts of last year. And then we're going to kind of see Puka Nacua in year 2, but it's preseason, so I don't even know if a lot of those guys are going to play. And I do have the Cowboys winning. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed. I did. To recap, I do have the Lions, Panthers, Dolphins, Steelers, Ravens, Commanders, Bears, Raiders, Browns, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Titans, Seahawks, Cardinals, Broncos, Cowboys all winning their games. And if I didn't say your team's name, it unfortunately means they're losing. I'm not doing Lock of the Week until the regular season. So don't worry, I do plan on bringing that back. It's just, it feels pretty stupid to do preseason because teams might not be playing their starters. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. I did. See you guys next time, where it should be UCF Knights Dynasty. If not, it's going to be, once again, predictions for week 3. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.